There we go. Sorry guys, my mic wasn't working, but welcome to the 2025 Spanish Grand Prix. And hold on, my fellow commentator's mic is also not working here. Give me just a second. And there we go.
Should be working now, hopefully.
Yes, it's working now. So, welcome everybody, 2025 Spanish Grand Prix. And yesterday was quite interesting with the qualifying. We had the McLarens coming out P1, P2 with Piastri on pole. And it looked throughout that Max Verstappen, I honestly thought he was about to clinch P1 in that qualifying. And he ended up not doing that. So that's pretty cool. So today's tire compounds are the C3, C2, and C1 tires. Of course, being the soft, medium, and hard. And we're in round 9 in the championship.
So Yuki will be starting from the pit lane today. So you made changes to his setup in Park Ferme, so that means he has to start from the pit lane. Then you have Sainz and Colapinto following. Colapinto in 18th, Sainz in 17th. And then you have Esteban Ocon starting 16th and Hulkenberg starting 15th. And then in the next row up, we got Oliver Behrman, number 87, starting in 14th, and Liam Lawson, number 30, starting in 13th. Then you have Gabriel Bortoleto and Alexander Albon following up in 12th and 11th. And then up here in 9th and 10th, we have Fernando Alonso starting 10th on the grid and Isaac Hadjar starting 9th. And then we have Pierre Gasly and Charles Leclerc. Pierre Gasly starting 8th, Charles Leclerc starting 7th. So he's going to be looking for a good result today. And then Antonelli is starting 6th, and Lewis Hamilton is starting 5th. And then we have George Russell starting 4th and Max Verstappen starting 3rd. And then we get on to the front row with Norris starting in 2nd and Oscar Piastri starting in 1st. So should be interesting going down to turn 1 today.
Should be very interesting. We got two fast drivers and Max Verstappen. I don't know if I would consider Max Verstappen quick anymore because of the car, but there was a couple of upgrades teams brought to their cars, so we can see what that'll do for the race.
And Lance Stroll will not take part in the Spanish Grand Prix due to an injury. So I think it's connected to his 2023 injury with the wrist. So he withdrew from the Grand Prix, and he's going to have a procedure, I believe, to rectify it. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. A lot of people are saying that the McLaren starting P1, P2 here, it's kind of like Mercedes way back when they both had a rivalry for the championship. I think it was Rosberg and Hamilton, and some people are like, I hope they don't crash together. That'd be pretty bad.
Oh, imagine if they crashed in that same turn that
Yeah.
Rosberg and Hamilton did. I believe that was like turn 4. That'd be so funny.
I think Verstappen was saying, I saw online something about like turn 1 that he's gonna try his best, but we'll see if he can if he gets a really good launch, he could probably go send it right down the middle and just get a crazy good start and then keep the lead from there if he got lucky, but who knows.
Yeah, he is known for having quick reaction time and quick launch, getting the power down nice and early. But we'll see, because Norris recently, he's been pretty locked in on that. So it's gonna be, I honestly can see Lando Norris getting a better jump than Piastri and getting into the lead in the first turn.
Yeah, Norris usually but like last year, I remember he was always starting on pole and then he would always bottle the start. But then now he's actually learned how to start more often now. So, in my opinion, he's actually not that bad at race starts anymore.
Yeah,
So
no,
going into the formation lap.
he's pretty good. So we're under the formation lap now. The green lights are obviously on the lights, and we're just moments away from starting the 2025 Spanish Grand Prix.
Every driver starting on the softs and then Sonoda on the mediums. It will be 2-stop strategies today, most likely. So a lot of people are saying that it's going to be soft, medium, soft, or soft, medium, hard for the possible race strategies.
Yeah, so soft, medium, soft is going to be, I think, a more aggressive strategy. Soft, medium, hard is going to be kind of like a more chill vibe. But so the fastest pit stop of 2025 is actually Ferrari in Saudi Arabia with 2.0 seconds. That is quick in these cars. But then again, last year we had a 1.8 second stop from who's that, McLaren?
Yeah, I think so. That was it was the fastest one ever recorded, and it was like exactly. I think it was 1.8 flat, which was about. I think the other fastest one was 1.82, so they were very small margin to be fastest.
And it's crazy because that other one was in like those older cars with the smaller tires, the lighter tires. And then now these guys come in with these big ones, and that's hard to do. So big props to McLaren there for getting that 1.8.
I wonder how the tires are gonna do in these temperatures, because the interesting thing is I have an aunt there, and she's walking around. She's like, it's almost too hot around here. It's like 40 degrees, and then I think the track temperatures were up to like 50 degrees Celsius yesterday. So
Oh
it's
wow.
pretty warm out there.
Yeah, I think they went up to 47 degrees, which is just crazy for a track. So
Yeah,
so this weekend's attendance, 300,000.
a lot of people, man.
That's a lot of people. And it's like you don't like think it's a lot of people because when you like see the track, like it doesn't look big, but then like 300,000 people are like sitting around that track. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's like insane.
I just saw a shot earlier that they were just showing on the screen. It looked like there was like you could like see like the heat waves coming through because of how hot it is out there, and then especially the engines as well. It's definitely gonna be really hot on the track today. Feel
Yeah,
bad for the
it's
drivers.
it's definitely gonna be really, really hot. Yeah, I believe right now the track temp is actually 49 degrees Celsius. The air temp
Wow,
is 29.
I can see fans being waved in the garage.
Over here in Canada, we don't have much heat.
Well, I mean, depends. Sometimes you get up to 30, but nowhere near what it is in Spain right now. We're gonna be
Yeah.
restarting here soon as the final few cars are lining up on the grid, and
So,
Noda's made it to the end of the pit lane.
we see the safety car at the back of the field. Christian Horner standing in the garage, awaiting the start, and the lights will be turning on soon.
And now we have
The
5
green
red lights,
flag.
and they're out.
And they're out. And here we have McLaren getting a good start with Piastri. And now Verstappen is challenging Norris on the outside of the track. Russell as well challenging. Norris is getting pinned by Russell and Verstappen, but Norris is going to stay ahead of Russell. Verstappen's going to go around the outside of Lando Norris into the first turn. So your first... Oh, and there's a little bit of movement in the back with a couple of cars going off the track. And we have Piastri, Verstappen, Norris, and I believe now there's a Ferrari there. So that's going to be interesting to see who that is.
I believe that's Leclerc, or is that Leclerc? If that's Leclerc, that'd be very surprising as he started 7th here. But we are unsure of who that is at the moment. If that is... So it seems like it is Hamilton in 4th position.
So lots going on right now. And great start for Max Verstappen. He gets the jump on Lando Norris. And he just sends it around the outside of the turn. And he can just stick that for the inside of turn 2. And so, who is that? Aston Martin. There's an Aston Martin, and who is that?
Alonso around
Neat.
one of the kick Saubers. There's only one Aston Martin today, so.
And so we have Piastri, Verstappen, Norris, Hamilton, Leclerc. That's your top 5. The 2 Ferraris getting a good jump to get ahead of the 2 Mercedes.
Hulkenberg up 5 positions from the race start, and now ahead of Alonso, who's lost a position on the race start, but he takes the position back yet again. So now Hulkenberg only up 4 positions, and Alonso saying where he started.
So big battle between Hulkenberg and Alonso. They're still going at it. Now Alonso is going to look down the inside again. So a little bit of action there. So I believe Hulkenberg got past Alonso again, and now going into the corner of turn 7, Alonso's going to stay behind. He's going to try to look down the inside. He's not going to be able to make it. Alonso hanging behind Hulkenberg, waiting for some action. And now into turn 9, onto the DRS straight. Of course, we have DRS now. There's going to be a bit of a train, though, as here we go. Will he be able to make a move? And no, it's not going to be there. So big battle between Hulkenberg and Alonso at the start.
Yeah, it's very interesting how there's a lot of battles going on here. I did see a lot of people go off track at the start. Nothing like too bad into like gravel or anything, but yeah, it's been pretty interesting. And Piastri already has about a 5/10 gap to Verstappen, but Verstappen's closing that with DRS. Almost makes the move into turn 1, but doesn't get it done. He gets the fastest lap of a 120.0. Yeah, so looks like there's already a pretty decent gap from Piastri to Verstappen. Now he's built it over to over a second, so that'll put Verstappen unfortunately out of DRS range for him. But Piastri will be pretty happy with that. And Verstappen in second, so he won't be too happy. And Russell complaining about the brakes, the something's moving under braking, and his race engineer's yelling at him to concentrate.
Yeah, so Russell complaining there that there's other drivers, I would assume, moving under braking. And he's like, what is going on today? So that's interesting, but Mercedes, he's not happy right now because both of the Mercedes are dropped down below the Ferraris. Of course, they're championship rivals, I think.
I believe they are.
Yeah, they are. There's a close battle between Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari for second in the standings for constructors. And who is that? Hadjar getting passed by Gasly, I believe.
Yeah, a lot of gaps over a second now, especially in the top 10, as Piastri's built up a gap of over a second to Verstappen, and then Verstappen's built up a gap of over a second to Norris. So none of them will have DRS in the current podium as it stands. So they will be looking to get DRS, especially Norris, as he wants to gain back his second position starting place, so then they can hopefully bring home a McLaren 1-2. But then again, early in the race, only fourth lap, and then they're also going to be looking to possibly have a better strategy than Verstappen and other teams.
So we're going to see what Ferrari might do here. I think they're going to hang behind, but Leclerc does have a DRS on Hamilton. They might swap the cars, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so seems like even though Hamilton did start ahead, they definitely could swap the positions between them, but not quite sure here. So Alonso is probably not too happy at the moment, as he did start ahead of Nico Hulkenberg, but Hulkenberg managed to make up so many positions at the start, and Alonso is one of the hometown heroes here, same with Sainz, so they're going to be looking to try and get up in their positions to try and get better. Now we're looking at a race start replay here. So yeah, the Hamilton, Ferrari Hamilton got a pretty good launch, but he looks like he pushed one of the Mercedes aside. I believe that was Antonelli.
And yeah, Piastri just kind of hangs out in front, and Verstappen, of course, around the outside of Lando Norris. And I believe who was that Aston who just cut the track almost completely? I believe sure. Alonso, right? Because Stroll is not racing.
Yeah, that should have been Alonso. Then if it's an Aston Martin, then yes, it should be just Alonso.
So Verstappen had a 10th of a second faster reaction time than Lando Norris, and he kind of gets to the left side of the track and squeezes Lando Norris to the right a little bit, and that's just good racing by Verstappen, denying any momentum through the corner, and Verstappen can just pick up that place super easily.
And I believe that statistic on the screen was 0 to 200, not reaction time. But still, that definitely would mean that Verstappen did have a faster reaction time, but I don't think it was quite close to a 10th, because that would have been pretty bad for Lando. But it doesn't seem like it was that bad.
Now looking at Liam Lawson. So he had a little bit of a send down the inside, and he hit the back of Fernando Alonso with his front left, We'll see if his wing is okay. I think it's fine. But there was a little bit of contact there. We have Nico Hulkenberg as well. So he is kind of chilling behind all the carnage. He sees a lot going on. Ooh, Lawson gets a little bit hit. Hulkenberg also has to cut the track. But he gets cut off by his teammate who also cuts the track. So lots going on in the midfield at the start of the race here. Even Alex Albon had to cut a little bit of damage to his front wing.
Yeah, and in turn one, seems like Hulkenberg left the track and gained an advantage, so it is under investigation by the stewards, because he did make up 5 positions, which is kind of a lot, so it definitely could have been something related to that, and it looks like the 2 Ferraris are in close battles with each other, so they might try and get past, as Piastri's already built up a 3-second gap to Verstappen.
Ooh, and
Albon is being
Albon.
told to box.
I believe they're going to do something with that front wing because the front right of that wing is kind of sagging. And now who is this? Charles Leclerc maybe getting past his teammate. It's not going to happen with the DRS into turn 1.
So Albon currently in the pit lane. I wonder if they'll cut a camera to that because I want to see this stop time here. It might be a bit long if they try and change the wing. But we will see. And yes, they will in fact... Will they be changing? Yes, they will be changing the wing. So Albon gets a fresh wing on his car. This is going to be a long stop time for him. That's going to really hurt him. Looks like it was about a 11-second stop time, which is a very long time for a pit stop. But then again, front wing changes do take a lot longer than most people think. Even though I've on the F1 game, it's usually only like 7 seconds, but no further investigation for Hulkenberg. Turn 1, leaving the track and gaining an advantage.
And Lando Norris. Norris being told to push. They want to get past Max Verstappen. The tires up to temp. And he's going to be pushing now to get past Verstappen. Of course, McLaren wants as much points as they can. A 1-2 for McLaren would be amazing. Yep. For them.
Piastri still currently leads the World Championship. And if he continues like this, he honestly could win it. But who knows what could happen. So Albon currently 25 seconds behind Yuki Tsunoda, which is not ideal for him, but then he is currently on softs, which is an interesting strategy in my opinion.
And yeah, so Oscar Piastri still chilling in the front. And Leclerc, I think he's trying to battle with his teammate to get past Hamilton.
Yeah, I'm just not sure why Albon decided to go on softs. If I was him, I would have gone onto hards, because boxing that early, you gotta kind of try and overcut the rest of the grid. So I would have gone on the hards and then tried to pit later, but I guess he didn't decide to do that.
So we'll see what he does with his strategy. And notice Leclerc, he is 5/10 behind his teammate. Very, very close. So Charles Leclerc has gained 5/10 in the last couple of laps. And he's going to be trying to get past his teammate. Will he be able to do it now with the DRS? He's going to go down the inside. Turn 1. And he's not going to be able to make it. Lewis Hamilton, great defense. Who keeps it around the outside and has the inside for turn 2.
And Behrman currently in the pits. And Tsunoda as well. So we'll see what tires they end up going on. So Tsunoda on the mediums. Interestingly, boxing off of the mediums, which is a bit interesting. And now, I think Tsunoda on the softs and Behrman on unknown tire at the moment. Gonna have to wait for a second for it to appear. But yeah, Tsunoda definitely on the softs. Visual confirmation, at least for me. Not sure what Behrman's on yet.
And yeah, so Leclerc does have, I think, more pace than Lewis Hamilton, but he does have the DRS, so he could just be kind of sitting behind. And there it is, swap positions with Leclerc. So they're going to swap positions, Ferrari. And I believe they're going to do it on the DRS straight here into turn 1.
And still no confirmation on what Behrman's tires are, which is interesting.
And here we go. Leclerc gets past into turn one. And you'll see what Leclerc can do. Maybe trying to catch Norris here. But now Norris is pushing, of course, to get past Verstappen. And he does have DRS. He is within DRS range. So we'll see what he can do now. Is they're going to be going into turn 7.
So it looks like the bottom 5 are all making their pit stops at the moment. So, well, the people in the bottom 5 have made their pit stops, so we'll see how it goes here. And Sainz, not sure if there's an issue. Ooh, that's a long stop time, 10 seconds. Did they replace the wing I think? Because that was a bit long.
I'm not sure. That was a really long stop for Carlos Sainz. It's going to hurt him. Feel bad for Williams now. They're P18, P19. Of course, Lance Stroll's not racing.
So there's no 20th driver. So they're at the absolute bottom of the field right now, but still got a few more teams to make pit stops. So a lot more teams actually to make pit stops, but we'll see if he can get ahead when they make their pits. But
and here we have Lando Norris with the DRS popped into turn 1. He's gonna look down the inside. He's not gonna make it, but I sense a overtake coming here, as Verstappen is losing 2/10 a lap to Lando Norris.
yeah, so just looking here, this is the move of Yuki on, I believe that's the Williams of Albon, if I'm not mistaken. And we're looking at a Gasly coming out of the pit lane.
So we have Piastri still chilling in the front. Now the gap between Norris and Verstappen is 5/10. So you'll see into turn 1 now as they're rounding turn 12. We'll see what they can do into turn 1. Will Norris get past Verstappen now? Verstappen on the radio. And he said no grip compared to them. That's it. So now we have Norris on the main straight with the DRS popped. Will he make the move? He's going to make it to the end of the straight. He's going to look at it. He's going to go around the outside. Defense by Max Verstappen. He's not going to get the move. Verstappen just claims that apex, and he's not going to get the move.
Verstappen, just pretty good driver. Like, it's nice, but we'll see what he can do here.
And the Ferraris are losing time to Lando Norris, as they swapped the drivers to hopefully catch up to the top 3.
And Oscar over the radio. His race engineer's asking how the tires are, and he says he's struggling a little bit with the rears, but still up 4 seconds on Verstappen, so definitely not too bad for him, but he will be looking definitely to build that up to see what he can do, because I think he will drop a decent amount if he'd pit right now. I think he may not be in the top 10 if he'd pit right now.
And Lando Norris is 4/10 behind Verstappen, so he is right on the tail of Verstappen. He's going to get the DRS popped. Will he go for a move into turn 1? He's going to go down the inside, and he's going to make the move on Max Verstappen. So Lando Norris moves up to P2. And we have a McLaren 1-2 once again.
Norris reclaims his place that he started in ahead of Verstappen.
So yeah, Verstappen complaining about no grip. So we'll see what that will do later in the race, if he'll hang in P3 or if Leclerc will catch him and claim P3 himself.
Yeah, so currently Verstappen already over a second behind Norris, so You won't be able to get DRS to hopefully win for him against Norris, but he won't be able to as doesn't have DRS.
So Liam Lawson gets the DRS and completes the place against Gabriel Bortoleto into turn 1. It's in a replay. Fernando Alonso. Bit of a lockup there into
Ooh.
turn 5, and he's in the gravel. That front left is going to have a flat spot, I believe. And so who is this? Verstappen in the box. 2.5 seconds.
Looking undercut.
So I wonder if it was the tire where he was complaining about, or if it's just the car with no grip. So yeah, Verstappen is now going to be focusing on the drivers behind him. He's no longer going to go for the McLarens. He's going to focus on the Ferraris and try not to get overtaken by them.
Yeah,
And
not sure.
So Alonso hanging ahead of Ocon. Could be maybe a little bit battle between them, but it looks as if Alonso is out in front for good. Leclerc 7 seconds now behind Norris. So this is big for the McLarens.
Yeah.
Of course, they're pulling out, and they will be able to stay ahead for the rest of the race, I believe.
And if Norris pits now, the predicted gap will be 157. So that'll be wow. So it just keeps updating, but at the moment, it seems like Verstappen would be ahead of Norris if Norris pit now by only about 0.2 of a second. So that'd be an interesting battle if Norris pit now.
So we'll see. Is Verstappen pushing now to get that undercut done on Norris, or is he pushing to stay ahead of Charles Leclerc? This is the question everybody's asking now.
Colapinto into the pit lane. Will he get a good stop here? And that was definitely not too bad. I think that was just about 2.8 seconds, so not the worst, but also not the best. After having issues in qualifying yesterday where his car ended up not accelerating in the pit lane, so he ended up holding some people up, which made some people not too happy, but
I don't think anybody missed their lap, though.
So yeah, so it wasn't too bad.
And the two McLarens are still just pulling away from the two Ferraris. Gap is roughly the same between Piastri and Norris and Leclerc and Hamilton.
Looking at a move Verstappen made on Isaac Hadjar.
And past teammates having a little bit of a battle there. Verstappen gets through.
I think that was Isaac Hadjar. I don't know if they were ever teammates.
I thought that was Lawson. No, that was Lawson. Okay, that was Hadjar. I thought that was Lawson.
Yeah, but making a move on a person from the sister team that Red Bull also owns. And Alonso into the pits, hometown hero, gets the pit stop done in just a few seconds. 3.1 second pit stop. Bit slow, but shouldn't hurt him that much.
And turn 5 incident with Alonso, no further investigation for rejoining on Safety. Of course, that was when he locked up, went into the gravel. So that would be interesting for the race.
Yeah, and so Hamilton radioed to box. This could be an interesting one. I'm not sure where he will exactly fall to. Moment he's 4 seconds behind his teammate, Leclerc.
And Hamilton now boxing.
And the timer was messed up for a second there. I believe I saw it said 58 minutes spent in the pit stop. And that was a 2.2 second pit stop, so that was pretty fast by the Ferrari crew. And Hamilton was saying that it was a long way to go. Not sure what that Oh, I think he meant that his softs, it was hard to last on those for that long.
Oh, and Max Verstappen, fastest lap, 119.4. So he is gonna be pushing hard now. Of course, he boxed for the new softs a couple of laps ago.
And Leclerc being told to full push now, and Leclerc said that's what I'm doing already. And that's just traditional beef with his engineer. A lot of the time that happens. So Leclerc currently on the podium if as it stands, but he's still yet to make his pit stop. So the top five yet to make their pit stops. Verstappen has though, and Leclerc being ready now to make his pit stop. So I'm assuming that the McLarens will follow definitely very soon. Not sure when, but we'll see. As I think Verstappen made the move on Antonelli, so now he's fifth position.
So Verstappen's gonna be looking to pass Russell soon. And Leclerc now, of course, in the pits, and it's going to be a 2.1 second stop for Charles Leclerc. So great pit stops on both Ferraris, as that's going to help them stay ahead even further of the Mercedes.
Now watching Norris and Piastri on the track map, they aren't quite close to the pit lane yet, but soon they might be able to make their pit stops. I think they're already close to lapping the back of the grid. Decently close.
No, they're decently close.
I think the gap to the leader for Alonso is over a minute with like 64 seconds or something like that, which is pretty crazy.
So the gap between Norris and Verstappen as of right now is 17.5 seconds. So I believe if Norris would box now, Verstappen would be ahead.
Yep. Ooh, so Alonso now had a call up into at the back. And Hamilton redoing, why did you pull me in so early? And they are saying that we were protecting a possible undercut from behind, which I don't think Hamilton's too happy that he had to go in early. But we'll see how that plays out over the rest of the race.
Hey, he's not going to be happy about that one, because now he's going to have to go a long way on these tires. And Max Verstappen is gaining a second a lap to Lando Norris. So this is going to make the McLarens have a bit of a headache here, because now the gap is 16.9. So it is closing. So yeah, Verstappen.
Those fresh softs, I'm sure, are very good.
Yeah, Verstappen's going to be, I think, still pushing now. And he's going to, I don't know if he's trying to challenge Norris as he just gets past George Russell. So now he's back in P3. But I wonder if he'll be trying to get past Norris on the strategy. But the thing now is with he's pushing, if he's pushing with these tires now, of course, it's not going to be great because he's going to get more wear and he's going to have to box earlier again. So we're going to see what will happen. But Verstappen's back in P3.
Unfortunately, we've just lost our view on the race, which shouldn't have happened, but...
Why is there an ad on both? I'm so confused.
Yep. Traditional TSN. Anyways, if you guys are looking for some F1 themed t-shirts, you can go to racingtees.ca. We've got some premium F1 t-shirts on there. They're very high quality and stuff. I really like them. I'm wearing one. It's really comfortable and it feels really good.
Yeah, they're great t-shirts.
So right now, it looks like the gap is... So Verstappen about 16 seconds behind Norris. But if he's gaining a second on a lap, that won't last very long. Because Norris will have to box soon. As he's still riding out these softs, which is a bit hard to do for that long. So he definitely could lose some time.
Yeah, we'll see what that'll do. But two Ferraris now are both behind the Mercedes. But I believe the Mercedes don't have a pit stop under their name. So Ferrari looks to be still good for 4th and 5th. Yeah, but there's lots of teammates hanging together. Of course, we have the two McLarens, P1, P2. We have two Mercedes in P4 and P5, and the two Ferraris in P6 and 7.
Yeah, so we shouldn't have lost both our views. Is like usually the thing we watch it on gives us ads, but usually it's not the whole screen. So someone's made an issue. Hopefully they get fired.
Huh. Now we're back on the broadcast. Here we go. So Russell's in the box. He's now pit exit. So Russell makes his box. He's behind both Ferraris. And now Antonelli still has to make his pit. I believe he'll also end up behind the Ferraris. So let's see. Now Verstappen and Norris gap 13.5. And Norris being told to block. So this is going to be interesting because Norris will be behind Verstappen.
This is heating up like pretty badly, or well, pretty good, I guess. But yeah,
So it'll be interesting. Will his tires be so bad that he won't be able to battle, or will his tires still be able to withstand all of this? Is Verstappen now getting past Norris?
as Norris makes a 3-second pit stop, which is not gonna lie, it's a little bit slow for the McLaren team. McLaren's usually on their A game with pit stops, but
No. He's now out pit exit 22 seconds total time in the pit lane. And Verstappen is actually 10 seconds now actually ahead of Norris. So this is not great for Lando Norris. And now if Oscar Piastri would box now too, he would end up behind Verstappen. And there goes Piastri for the box. I believe they're going to try now to... I believe Piastri's going to try to play the tire saving game because Verstappen has been pushing and now his tires are going to be cooked. So we'll see what happens here. So now here comes Piastri in the box. See what the stop time is going to be as medium tires go on, and the stop time will be 2.2. So good stop by Piastri, and Verstappen's gonna get past Oscar Piastri. So now Verstappen takes the lead of the race, but Verstappen's tires are a lot older than the two McLarens.
I think Piastri might be able to get that back in a little bit. He's about 4 seconds behind, I believe. It's probably going to increase a little bit in the next few seconds until we get the actual exact gap, but it seems like it's going to be about 5 to 6 seconds.
So Oscar Piastri is in second, gap of 6 seconds. So we'll see what will happen. Now George Russell fastest lap 119.1. Isaac Hadjar in P10. And he's right behind the kick Sauber of Nico Hulkenberg. Maybe gonna be going for the move to take P9 away. We'll see. And actually Hulkenberg's flashing.
So at the moment, seems like Piastri is gaining a little bit to Verstappen. Not sure if he'll be able to gain enough to start catching him, but it seems like he might even be losing. Don't know how accurate these gaps are at the moment.
Pierre Gasly and Kimi Antonelli are having a little bit of a tussle.
Yeah. So Verstappen still leads by about 5 seconds.
And so I think Gasly's yet to box. And Antonelli's going to turn on the DRS, he's going to turn on the jets, and he's going to make the move down the inside of turn 1 before turn 1. And even Hadjar gets past Hulkenberg behind those two. So we have Antonelli getting past Gasly into P7, Hadjar getting past Hulkenberg for P9. So a good move by those two. And now Verstappen, interesting. So he is ahead of both McLarens now after the boxes. But Verstappen, his tires will be old and will be hurting. So we'll see what happens. And Alex Albon and Liam Lawson having a little bit going on. And Lawson saying on the team radio that Albon needs to give the position back. So we'll see what happened there, maybe. But
yeah. But everyone on the grid has made their one mandatory stop at least. So yeah, and Albon saying Liam pushed him off. So yeah, there'll definitely be some investigations going on there.
so they did have some sort of maybe even contact. Don't know. But now Fernando Alonso's behind both of them. And he's going to be hungry for a few overtakes here in his home crowd. So Yuki Tsunoda is in the box. And Lawson's going to get around the outside of turn 1 on Albon. And also, Alonso's going to go around the outside of turn 3, the long sweeping right-hand turn. And he's going to get past as well. So Albon just losing 2 positions there in 3 corners. And now Albon saying front wing damage. So who made contact with Alexander Albon there?
Definitely going to be a lot of investigations going on here.
And so yeah, turn 1 incident involving cars 23 and 30. So Albon and Lawson is under investigation. That's interesting.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, so Lawson takes the apex and it's his corner. He is not fully ahead. They're like side by side, but it is his corner.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
whoa,
a decent amount of front wing damage. It's a pretty big wipe off the front wing for Alexander Albon.
So Albon kind of just turns the
yeah.
car kind of almost into the rear right of Lawson, and it kind of just blows the front wing up.
Stewards will definitely be investigating that.
And so the two Ferraris are looking ahead. Maybe trying to get past the McLarens. You know, the gap now between Leclerc and Norris is closing, I believe. So this one's interesting.
So we're looking at one of the strategy engineers nodding at the Red Bull garage. If you're just joining in, we're on lap 27, and box to retire the car for Albon. That's unfortunate for him.
So Albon is retiring the car. That's going to be a sad one. End of his race. It's quite interesting because I only thought the front wing was damaged. Maybe there was more damage.
Yeah.
Isaac Hadjar having a little bit of a moment with one of the Alpines, getting very close to each other.
Yeah.
And he goes around the outside of turn 4. It's a good move by Lawson.
So now Albon should be retiring the car very, very soon. Yep, so it seems like they're just getting ready to retire it. He's got a pretty good amount of front wing damage. And they're sending him back out without even replacing it. And he had a 10-second time penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage.
So Alexander Albon, he's got a 10-second penalty, and that's going to be hurting his race very much. I don't know why they sent him back out.
Maybe they actually that wouldn't even be serving it. So yeah, that's a bit odd. I'm not sure why they did that.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying. So Hulkenberg gets past Gasly into turn one. Verstappen hanging out in P1. And Piastri's getting closer to him.
And Verstappen complaining about it's being hard to drive and he like can't brake and stuff. So it might be interesting for him.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting for his race. And Verstappen, Piastri, we're going to look at that. And we're also going to look at Leclerc and Norris. So right now, it looks like Norris is pulling away a tenth a second, but they're very evenly matched. Piastri's gaining 6/10 a lap to Verstappen. So
I feel like
striking,
Piastri, yeah, he could very get pretty close to him soon.
striking distance will be soon. So we'll see what would happen there.
Albon back in the pit lane. Wonder if he'll try and retire this time.
So Albon's back
Yeah,
in
it
the
looks
pits.
like, yeah, they're definitely retiring it. They've got it up on the, I don't know what you call that, but they've jacked it up with the thing and they're wheeling it in the garage. So yeah, Albon will retire damage with, I believe that was Liam Lawson. And yeah, he ended up getting front wing damage from him. And guess they realized it was too much damage to continue. So Albon will be retiring, and he did have a 10-second time penalty before he retired.
So that's going to be race over for Alexander Albon. Piastri is getting 6/10 a lap to Max Verstappen.
And I think Verstappen's boxing, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he is.
Ooh.
So Verstappen now in the pit lane.
This is going to be interesting because now he goes on the mediums. So there's 2 stops already. You know, today everybody was thinking it's going to be a 2-stop strat. He might have to go for the 3-stop strat because not even halfway through the race here.
He's already made his second pit stop, so it's pretty interesting.
Ooh, and it's going to be a close one between Hamilton and Verstappen in the first term. The Verstappen will stay ahead after boxing.
Not sure what tires he's on. I think he might be on
Mediums. He's on the mediums.
Yeah, I think the mediums, yep.
So now Piastri and Norris are back in the 1-2 spot. And no further action. Return 1 incident between Lawson and Albon. So Norris, his engineer is saying that they're happy with their plan because Verstappen is on the 3. So he's on the 3 stop.
So at the moment we've got Piastri leading, and now Albon in the garage taking off all his gear as he retired from the race with front wing damage. So that's unfortunate for him. But interestingly enough, no penalty for Liam Lawson, I believe. So
Yeah, I think Lawson wasn't going to get a penalty there because he just he had the corner. It was his corner, and it looked like Albon almost kind of turned in to him. So, well, we'll see.
and Hamilton saying just no grip in the rear.
So that's interesting. You know, Hamilton didn't have pace throughout the race so far. Early on, they had to swap the 2 Ferraris with Leclerc getting past Hamilton.
And someone said earlier, why didn't
Liam Lawson
contact?
and Oliver Behrman getting very, very close in turn 1. Maybe contact, yeah.
Yeah, and sorry, going back to what someone said earlier, why didn't Aston just use their backup driver? So, the thing is, Lance had already completed qualifying, so after qualifying, there is no driver changes. Feel like that should be a different rule, that they would just have to like start at the bottom
Yeah.
but yeah, like I don't know why that's a rule, but I guess you can't just swap them. I feel like if they had like someone just at the bottom of the like they just started P20 or from pit lane, if they changed the drivers, it wouldn't be that bad. But oh yeah, there was contact between Behrman and Lawson.
So Behrman was on the outside of turn one, and Lawson just clipped the rear right with the front left of his car. And ooh, Behrman had to
Yeah,
cut the track there. He almost got spun around.
yeah, that was almost bad for Oliver Behrman, but seems like he's okay. That might be investigated by the stewards though. And Gasly now in the pit lane for his second pit stop, and Verstappen with the fastest lap of 118.2 on some fresh mediums.
Verstappen again with the fastest lap. And I wonder if he's going to be pushing hard again, because he is on the 3 stop now.
An Lawson Behrman incident in turn one for a collision has been noted.
Yeah, so Max Verstappen is the fastest on the track.
So this is
And
it's pretty interesting.
Alonso's gaining 8 tenths a lap to Lawson. So Alonso is carving through the grid here a little bit. He was more to the back of the grid. And Verstappen complaining again. It's again like I have no clutch when upshifting.
Oh, they're talking about like 1973. What
And
happened to Albon? So Albon unfortunately retired with after damage with Liam Lawson.
now, but not an interesting one there because he did only have front wing damage and he got a 10-second penalty for it. But then I don't know why they fully retired just for that reason.
I feel like they could have boxed, repaired the car, and then continued, but I'm not sure why they didn't do that.
Maybe they don't have enough front wings.
Maybe not, because they already replaced it one time.
There's a lot of development drivers in the paddock today. Of course, for Racing Wolves, we have Iwasa. And maybe they'll make it into Formula One in a couple years.
Yep. And yet again, the place I'm watching the race on decides to put more ads taking up the whole screen when they usually don't do that. So I'm not sure what's going on with them today. And is Colapinto out? No, Colapinto's just been lapped, unfortunately for him. So he's still definitely in the race, but not very good position right now for him to be in, as he's in dead last and currently lapped.
So yeah, Colapinto is, I believe, the only driver to be lapped. And next up will be Gasly.
So at the moment, Piastri does lead his teammate Norris by about 4 seconds. That's pretty big.
It
Some
is
people saying
pretty
they're
big.
watching it on TV and they want Max back in first. Yeah, I mean he's 20. I think yeah, that's 20 seconds behind. Or no, sorry, he's only 10 seconds behind Piastri, the leader. So hopefully he can gain back some time, but we'll see.
So the turn one incident between Behrman and Lawson, no further investigation for causing a collision. So yeah, they did have a bit of a contact moment there between those and no further investigation.
Who got the 10-second penalty? That was Albon, but he is currently out of the race as he retired the car due to damage.
And so Piastri is ahead, comfortable margin, Norris P2. And we have Verstappen about to get past Charles Leclerc. 4 tenths is the gap. And we'll see now.
And Lando being asked to push the tire a little bit more and in turn 9. He said he can't push because his front left is grained and he's just understeering. So it's not very good for Norris. So possible pit stop probably soon for him. I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to go on mediums again and then finish on those. But it was an interesting strategy by Verstappen to pit early.
Yeah, so Norris will be pushing the tires in turn 3 and 9. And now Verstappen gets past Charles Leclerc with the DRS in the turn 1. So Verstappen is again back in P3, but he still has another stop as they're going for the 3 stop today. Quite an odd strategy.
So it's very interesting.
So Oliver Behrman's in the box. And what will the stop time for him be? As he goes out on the mediums, 2.9 seconds.
Here on lap 37. So I think he'll probably ride out whatever tires he's on till the end. Piastri's still leading after doing currently 1 stop, I believe. So he's going to be looking to get a second stop in soon. Verstappen already made 2 pit stops. I'm wondering if he's going to ride these mediums out to the end.
That would be a very hard task. I think he's going to go for the 3 stop. He might go on to the softs again at the end.
He's not usually like Russell. Russell's one of those people that can ride out tires for a long, long time.
Yeah, very talented driver, George Russell. And he's actually on the radio right now. And his engineer's saying, okay, George, let's start to close up this gap now. George Russell saying, I'm pushing mate. So they're going to try to get past Hamilton here then. So Verstappen's pushing again in 6 laps. There's going to be a battle between Norris and Verstappen. So Verstappen is gaining on Lando Norris.
About 6 laps are projected to battle as it's a 5-second gap.
And Verstappen is also gaining on Piastri, gaining 1.3 seconds a lap, which is just crazy. And as the Sainz getting past Colapinto first turn, 4P17.
So at the moment, the people currently in the points is Piastri, Norris, Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton, Russell, Antonelli, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, and Lawson. All in the points as it stands, but I feel like that could change.
Yeah, that could change.
Especially for like Lawson there. I feel like he might lose his position. I don't know, but with all the contact he's been making trying to keep that position, he could definitely get a penalty.
Yeah. So now the 2 McLarens are actually really close to each other. They've closed the gap. So Yuki Tsunoda gonna make a move here on Esteban Ocon with the DRS into turn 1. And he's gonna get the inside. And he's gonna get the move.
He makes it pass. And currently the leader has lapped up to 15th position, so Gasly has been lapped. But Ocon yet to be lapped, so I feel like that might happen soon. But not sure yet.
So Max Verstappen has slowed down here, I think, because he's now only gaining 2 tenths a lap to Oscar Piastri. And he's not gaining much to Lando Norris. So I believe he might be trying to save the tires a little bit more. His team probably told him to slow down. And Ferrari having a pretty good day today. P4, P5. And Russell on the radio. And he really wants Russell to close that gap to battle Ferrari, because every point now will matter for Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari, as they're in a very, very close championship battle. So we'll see what happens. And we're on lap 40 of 66, 27 full racing laps left to go.
McLaren, I believe, so comfortably leads the championship at the moment.
Is that Leclerc? You say Leclerc?
No, I said McLaren.
Oh, McLaren. Oh, Leclerc leads the... I don't think that's true.
I mean, I think Leclerc would definitely want to be comfortably leading the Drivers' Championship, but at the moment, McLaren comfortably leads the Constructors' Championship.
There it is, yeah. Yeah, so McLaren is chilling.
I mean, maybe when Leclerc's older, he'll make a team and name it after him.
Nah, maybe.
So Verstappen's engineer saying that McLaren is realizing they need to push. So I think Verstappen's gonna be happy about that one. He's gonna start catching them soon.
Yeah, because they want to make sure they can stay ahead of Verstappen here. But also, Verstappen does have to make another pit stop. I don't think he's going to hold these mediums for 26 more laps.
Leclerc in the pits at the moment. And comes in fast. Let's see what his pit stop time will be. It's going to be about 2.3 seconds, not too bad. And then Colapinto in the pit lane as well. So definitely a lot of people making their pit stops at the moment.
And so Leclerc's got a brand new set of mediums. So he will be able to hang on to those for the rest of the race. And two McLarens are still chilling ahead. They need to be starting to push a little bit more now because of Verstappen behind them.
So Verstappen doing very well today. I think they might have brought some pretty decent upgrades to the race today.
And yeah, Tsunoda not doing great in that other Red Bull, P13. He did start in the pit lane, but he did also qualify in P20, I think.
So at the moment, Piastri still leads. And Norris and Verstappen follow for the podium. But Verstappen at the moment gaining a lot of time to Norris and Piastri. So battle could spice up in a matter of a few laps.
And so George Russell now coming into the pits. And we'll see what stop time he's going to get. He's going to go on the softs, actually. And he's a 2.3 second stop for George Russell. Where will he come out here? And let's see. So he's going to be behind his teammate, behind Antonelli. He's going to be P7. So we'll see if they're going to want Russell or Antonelli to go for the move on the Ferraris, as the gap to Leclerc from Antonelli is only 3.5 seconds.
So gap definitely closing.
And Verstappen is still gaining 0.2 a lap to Piastri. But we'll see what that does for the race, because it's not gaining enough. Of course, the gap is almost 7 seconds between first and third. But we'll take a look at Norris and see what he will do against Verstappen. Because I believe both McLarens are pushing now.
Yes, these
And
tires are decently old. I wonder if he'll make a pit stop soon enough, but who knows?
yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one to see. I think he's on 20 lap old tires, but I think he only has one stop under his name, so he still can make that second stop in that two-stop strategy. He has 24 laps remaining, so he might be boxing anytime soon. But we'll see how long McLaren wants to stay out here against Verstappen, who most likely still needs another pit stop.
Verstappen within about 7 seconds of the leader, so could definitely gain soon.
And now, whoa, what happened there? Verstappen lost 6 tenths on that last lap to Oscar Piastri. So the gap
Two
is not closing.
2 seconds flat for the Aston Martin pit stop for Alonso.
So Verstappen also losing time to Lando Norris, who is ahead of him.
It's very much about strategies today, in my opinion. Like, I get it. There's a lot of battling going on, but there's also a lot of strategies being played out here.
Yeah, Spain, the track just doesn't have many overtaking spots. Oh, and what's happening there? Alonso and Sainz. I believe Alonso gets past Sainz.
That was a pretty interesting battle there. It was very close, but it was very clean as well.
Fernando Alonso is now ahead of Carlos Sainz. So Alonso's in 16th, and he is on the softs. So he just had a pit stop then. And George Russell is gaining 2.2 seconds to his teammate a lap.
Yeah, so very, very close.
So you can really see that difference in lap time between old and new tires. And I believe they're going to swap. There it is. They're swapping positions. So Russell gets past his teammate, Kimi Antonelli. And I think Russell is going to send it now and try to get past the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. We'll see what that'll do for the race. But I think he's going to try. You know, Mercedes, they need to get past Ferrari here for the championship.
At the moment, seems like Verstappen hasn't been like over like the last lap or so. I think Verstappen's lost about a second and a half to the leader. So the gap's now 8 seconds.
Yeah, so Verstappen's not gaining much to the McLarens. I believe the McLarens are pushing, but we'll see. So Piastri will still have to make a pit stop, as well as Lando Norris.
So someone is in my chat. This is wrong. Leclerc's third. So not at the moment. Leclerc's in fifth, unless you have like a really ahead live stream or you're at the race. Then maybe he is in third. But from what I'm seeing here, he is currently in fifth. Oh wow! And Lando Norris's girlfriend is in the garage. Never actually seen her before.
No, I've never seen her either.
Maybe that was recent. Not sure.
So track temp is 47 degrees Celsius. That is exactly what it was yesterday in
It is a
qualifying.
very, very, very hot track.
Yeah, very hot track. And very humid too, as it's 61% humidity, which is quite humid. So people will be sweating in Spain right now.
Yeah, I know a few people that are currently there, and it's very hot there. It's like 40 degrees just in the air, and then 47 degrees on the track is very, very hot. Especially since that's Celsius. If that was Fahrenheit, that'd be pretty cold, but it's Celsius, so very hot.
Very, very hot.
And currently, as it stands, Don't know if it's going to stay. Oh, Hamilton box for him. But as it stands, both the kick Saubers are in the points. So they could get double points today. Not sure if that will stay, but definitely very much could. As I believe I think it's Hulkenberg that's made his, I think like 3 pit stops or maybe 2. So
Dude,
he
he's
definitely
made.
could stay there and then get double points for the team. But we'll see what happens.
So Hulkenberg's made 2 stops and Bortoletto's made 1. So Bortoletto will have to box. Hulkenberg could probably get points for the team. And Hadjar sitting in P8, getting some pretty decent points for Racing Bulls.
Anticipate Bortoletto will fall a lot if it doesn't work out here. Ooh, swap positions for Bortoletto.
Hulkenberg's back up to 9th. Bortoletto drops to 10th. And yeah, just not great for Alexander Albon throughout the race. He's out, so even Hamilton having a little bit of a poor race.
Verstappen making another pit stop for his 3rd pit stop of the race. We'll see where that leaves them. But Piastri and Norris, I mean, they might be able to do a George Russell here and whisper their tires since they've already made 1 pit stop and then just stay. But Norris will actually be boxing, so he won't be able to just whisper his tires out of here. And I believe that is Verstappen lapping his teammate Yuki Tsunoda, who's just at the fastest lap.
So interesting that Yuki Tsunoda has the fastest lap. Of course, having the softs on right now. And Ocon is right behind Tsunoda. I don't know if they will have a battle here. Ocon's in the mediums, so they might not be battling for position. And McLaren looks like they're ready, and there they go. Lando Norris
going on the mediums, I believe.
Yep, so Lando's going to be rounding the penultimate corner now. He's going to go into the box.
And someone said Isaac is winning trust. That'd be really cool. I mean, anything can happen in Formula One. I personally don't know if he could win because he's still in 8th, but hey, who knows? Maybe the top 7 will just DNF and then he wins. And someone said Hamilton's still driving with the handbrake on. Yeah, he might be down in 7th. I mean, that's I think 2 positions lower from where he started. So definitely not great for him. But we'll see what he can do if he can get ahead here. And Norris still holding on to 2nd place even after a pit stop, but that means Verstappen will definitely be maybe a little bit closer to him after Verstappen made his 3rd pit stop.
So yeah, Piastri is still chilling in 1st. Max Verstappen is chasing Norris for P2. And Verstappen is actually right behind Lando Norris. So we'll see what this means. The gap is 8 tenths. So when Norris boxed, Verstappen is now challenging Norris. But we'll see when Verstappen will make his next stop because there's still 18 full laps to go. Piastri is now coming in the pits. Hadjar was in the box. Piastri goes onto the soft tires, which is predicted, and 2.2 seconds. He's going to be pulling out.
Piastri will be lasting probably about 16 laps on these softs. Hopefully he can win the race here. I do like Piastri. He's one of my favorites. I really like the McLaren guys, but it also needs to see a Leclerc podium. Verstappen, I know a lot of people like him, but me personally, I just prefer other drivers. Nothing against Verstappen.
So Verstappen will be looking to make a move on Norris very soon as Antonelli comes into the box.
So Piastri leading Norris by about 3 seconds, but Verstappen almost in DRS range of Norris by about only a 10th off of DRS range.
So yeah, McLaren doing very well. And speaking of McLaren, if you guys want McLaren themed shirts, make sure you guys check out racingtees.ca, high quality shirts and other clothing items.
We have them for almost every or actually, we do have them for every F1 team. Even all the way down to Kick Sauber or Williams, anything. Any shirt for any team you can get.
So Verstappen is complaining about the car being completely broken. Verstappen is very frustrated. He's been complaining throughout the entire race about the car being terrible. So, he's used to being spoiled with a really, really good car. And recently, just not having a great car. So Verstappen P3.
And someone's saying both Williams out. No, so that's just Albon. Albon's out, but Colapinto is up to 18th right now, which is currently last, unfortunately. But he's still in the race. He's just been lapped by the leader, so it's grayed out.
And Colapinto is no longer part of Williams. It's Carlos Sainz.
Oh, crap. Whoops. Whoopsies. Forgot about that.
So who is this Piastri lapping Behrman?
Sorry, so a clarification then. Sainz is in P14, but he has been lapped by the leader.
Ooh, so Max Verstappen looks like he's dropping back. Of course, we have Alonso in between the two, so we'll see. There's a lot of traffic here as whoa. Little of a battle there between Lawson and Behrman. And oh my god, what is happening here? The McLaren of Lando Norris is trying to get through all this traffic, but we have two drivers battling and Norris trying to get through. Almost contact between the three in turn 3. And Lawson almost got forced completely off the track. So that was quite interesting. Lots of carnage going on with the lapped cars and lapped drivers.
Someone saying, where's Stroll? So Stroll had a wrist injury, so he is, at the moment, not here. So he might be back next weekend, but he did withdraw from the competition after qualifying, and he was unable to be replaced as he had already completed qualifying. So there's a rule where if you do qualifying, you can't complete the race with a different driver, and Verstappen radioing that there's effing idiots in front of him.
Yeah, so that was with the carnage that just happened. Like, I think 4 drivers almost just took each other out. So Verstappen getting quite mad. He's fuming right now because he is not in the position he wants to be in. Obviously, he's fighting
1.4 seconds behind Norris.
Yeah, he's fighting for the Drivers' Championship, so he is trying to get everything he can to keep his streak of Drivers' Championships. So here we have the replay of Liam Lawson during that carnage moment. So he has DRS on the main straight, and Oliver Behrman swerves all the way to the right side of the track to defend, and Lawson is there, so he gets pushed kind of off the track. So pretty aggressive there by Oliver Behrman, who then has to cut turn 1, and the two drivers basically sandwiched Lando Norris, and Max Verstappen is just sitting behind them to watch. And wow, there's just drivers swerving across the track to let other drivers through, and it's just Max Verstappen getting quite mad about that one.
Just tough for him. He's throwing his arms up at him.
Throwing his arms up too.
Yeah, so I guess he was not too happy with that one.
We can't do much when you're battling another driver and there's a bunch of traffic going through. So it's big for all of the drivers in that. Fernando Alonso getting past Behrman around the outside of turn 3.
At the moment, everyone except up to Hadjar has been lapped, so it's very interesting.
So Lando Norris gap 3.1 to Oscar Piastri in first. Verstappen is 2.3 to Norris. And turn one incident involving Behrman and Lawson noted for leaving the track and gaining an advantage.
Yeah, so they are going to be looking to hopefully, no, Verstappen's going to be looking to get a better position here. And Gasly behind Hulkenberg. So he rounds out the final people in the points.
And if you could take over for 15 minutes, I'll be right back.
Not a problem. So I will be taking over for the next 15 minutes as the leader here. Driver of the day wins. Verstappen leads driver of the day wins with 2 wins over Norris with 1 and Antonelli with 1. So currently Verstappen leads driver of the days, which is surprising. Oh, yellow flag as who's that off the track? One of the Mercedes off the track, almost into the wall. Kimi Antonelli. I don't know if he'll be able to recover from that. That may be a safety car, and that is a full car. Full AMG safety car. So Antonelli's okay and out of the car, but that will be a safety car at the moment. So Antonelli out of the race, and now a safety car has been deployed. So it's unfortunate for him, but yeah, there will be a safety car. Odds on betting apps were about a plus 100 for a safety car to come out, so could have probably doubled your money if you bet on a safety car coming out. But yeah, so it seems like that. Who's that in the pit lane? So both. Ooh, wow. Piastri and Norris doing a double stack pit stop. And wow, pretty good coordination by the F1 by the teams here. Verstappen also in the pit lane. Will Norris pull ahead though? Yes, he will. It only hurt him by about a second for his pit stop. So the moment Verstappen went the fastest lap, and we are currently under safety car conditions, as Antonelli's out. Just goes to show you how much lapping there's been going on. Like, I mean, Antonelli retired already, like, a little bit ago, and Antonelli has now Antonelli retired a bit ago, and now he has just been passed by Colapinto on track. So the moment Piastri leads Norris and Verstappen on the podium, and there is currently a safety car out with 10 laps left to go. So we're not probably going to get that much racing action after this. So at the moment, looks like a lot of drivers have opted to make stops again to have much fresher tires. Few laps. It really didn't hurt their positions when they bought because of the safety car. So we're currently under safety car conditions if you're just running in. And, oh, Verstappen got put on the hard tires. So he's not going to be happy with his engineer, and his engineer saying it was the only option. And so I don't know why they would have made a pit stop for hards. And like, we're looking at a replay of Antonelli here. Let's see what happened with him. I believe it was most likely, wouldn't be surprised if it was a spin or a lockup. Yeah, he locked up, went off, and then ended up getting stuck in the gravel, so he couldn't move. So then he had to get the safety car out. Yeah, it just was unfortunate for Antonelli. Definitely might have been able to save it, but again, rookie driver, so must have been a bit hard. I definitely couldn't do it myself. Yeah, just had to hop out of the car. And looks like his engine was struggling as well. Looked like there was almost smoke coming from it. So Bono not looking too happy. He's the engineer for Kimi Antonelli. And the safety car is now coming across the start-finish line for the first lap under the safety car. Looks like Sainz is in the pit lane at the moment. And Verstappen, only driver on hards, so definitely a big screw-up by the strategy team for the pit wall. Not sure why they just opted for hards. I would have just, if I was making a pit stop, especially because he's already made, I think, 3, going for a 4th one and going on hards, I would have just stayed on whatever tires he was on, softer mediums. Going on hards, I don't think was the best option. So yeah, his Antonelli's car is getting airlifted. Well, not really airlifted, but it's getting towed by one of the tractors, and he will be not too happy with that result. I just can't get over the fact that they put Verstappen on hards for like the last 10 laps or so. I feel like Verstappen may not win because of that, and that big time screw up by the pit wall. And Hulkenberg now in the pit lane as well in 8th position. Antonelli taking his gear off, already made it back to the garage, and Hulkenberg with 7 stop time. So as it stands, Piastri could win this race, although seems like they've almost got the car off, so safety car conditions most likely won't last more than another 2 laps. We're currently under safety car conditions because of Antonelli going off the track. I believe we should have 1 more lap under the safety car, I would assume. And after that, I would bet that we would be done. Looking at the race control office, looks like they're making a few decisions. So yeah, they're crossing the start-finish straight again with the safety car. So I believe this should be the last one. What happened to Antonelli? He ended up locking up and going off the track. And he never ended up hitting the barrier. It's just that he got stuck in the gravel, and you can't get anyone to assist you. What are the safety car conditions? Safety car conditions just means that a regular road car, a very fast one, leads the entire grid. So then they're going at a slower pace to allow the stewards to clean up the damage safely. And then once it's cleaned up off the track, they just let the safety car go back in the pit lane, and then they race again. But we're currently under safety car conditions. And I believe Antonelli, there's some people are saying his motor stopped. I definitely believe that could have happened as well. As it looked like when after he braked, it could have been smoke from tires, but then after he was just in the gravel, I saw like smoke coming out of his car, so it could have been definitely been his motor overheating, as it is very hot out there in Spain today. Track temperature on the surface is about 47 degrees Celsius, which is very, very hot. What lap are we on? We are currently on lap 58 out of 66. I'm assuming this lap will be the last one on their safety car. And Leclerc with a very good recovery drive. Yeah, 7th to 4th at the moment. Could even get past Verstappen, as Verstappen went on the hard tire, interestingly, for the last few laps. So he may be screwed with that. Moment left 58 out of 56 under the safety car. And may not be going in this lap. I figured it would be, but I don't think it will be, as they're coming up close to the pit lane soon. So there would have been more communication control over a few laps ago. And lapped cars may now overtake the safety car. 30, 31, 5, 14, 87, 22, 55, and 43. So all lapped cars are going to overtake the safety car, and they're going to catch the back of the grid again. And after that, then I believe the safety car will go in. So we will not have a lot of laps to finish off actual racing. So at the moment, it's just a lot of sitting and waiting for cars to come back after being lapped. So they've all unlapped themselves, but they're going to go and catch the back of the grid with the safety car. So it should be a lot of people. I think that's going to be around 10 or so people, I think, that is overtake the safety car. So Piastri still leads to Norris under the current safety car. And if you guys are looking for F1 themed t-shirts, you can go to racingtees.ca. Got some high quality racing t-shirts over there for every single F1 team. And we're planning on adding some more stuff soon. I would love to even make like an IndyCar collection or something. Haven't done that yet though. And the current vote split for driver of the day is 17% for Verstappen. So if you guys are looking to vote for driver of the day, you can go to F1/ and vote for driver of the day. And then after that, you can go to racingtees.ca. Maybe check out some t-shirts if you'd like. So at the moment, lap 59 out of 66. We're going to be crossing the start-finish straight soon. So I believe that soon enough we will be going green. Not this lap, but I'm hoping the next lap will be green flag because this is getting a little bit boring just sitting behind the safety car, but we
And
will
we have
see.
a safety car here, I guess.
Yep, so my assistant commentator's back. We are currently under safety car conditions. Antonelli had kind of a power unit failure and locked up and went into the gravel, so it wasn't very
Hmm.
I think his car overheated. I saw some smoke.
That's quite interesting.
Lapped cars have overtaken the safety car, so we're just waiting on those before we get green again.
And this is actually going to be interesting for the race because now the field has bunched up. Mercedes lost one driver, so they're going to have to get Russell ahead of Leclerc here. And we have...
Feel bad for Verstappen. Yeah, the strategy team made an error. Well, not really an error at the pit wall. They put him on hard tires as those were the only ones available. Fresh tires, and
Oh, no.
I'm just wondering why they made him pit if they weren't good tires.
Yeah, that's interesting then. So he's on hards now, eh?
Yep.
It's not going to be great. We have 7 full racing laps left. Or not racing laps, 7 full laps. I don't know if we're going to get full racing laps because we have a safety car. But we'll see. We'll see indeed.
And someone says, "Why not stay out?" That was a decision. Oh, safety car ending. That was a decision by the Red Bull pit wall, which wasn't a great decision in my opinion. I mean, they had decently fresh tires, so I'm not sure why they did that. And now looking at the inside of the safety car with Bernd Mylander behind the wheel. And Hamilton earlier on the radio saying that they do love to waste laps, huh? But I guess it kind of was wasting laps. I don't know why they needed. I think we had almost 10 laps on the safety car, and it was only
Holy.
just a little crash. Ooh, and what's that there? I think.
Whoa. The safety car is in this lap, but Piastri in the front slowed down really drastically.
I think Leclerc is trying to hit something on his wheel, maybe the radio.
So holy, these cars are bunched up very tightly. Piastri going very slowly. This is gonna hurt the tires of Verstappen as they'll be colder. Not gonna be good for him on the hards. As now we're going fast again for the restart around the final turn. And so we're gonna start the first racing lap after the safety car. And here we have Charles Leclerc getting past Verstappen right at the start. And Russell also gets past Max Verstappen. Will he make the move stick? Verstappen has to cut the track. And look at this now as we have Verstappen on the runoff. And Verstappen cuts the track. So now Leclerc gets ahead of Verstappen. Russell's going to be behind Verstappen. Hamilton still hangs behind Russell's Mercedes. So we have Piastri first. Norris still second. Leclerc gets passed for third. Verstappen fourth. Russell fifth. Hamilton is hanging in sixth. And Verstappen is getting mad that they rammed into him. That's a penalty. What a start.
What a restart, yeah. But not sure if Verstappen says that should be a penalty. I wonder if that will be investigated by the stewards. But yeah, at the moment, your current podium is Piastri, Norris, Leclerc. Great recovery by Leclerc today. But Verstappen radioing again, saying Charles just rammed into me on the straight. So the stewards may review that. That was very interesting restart.
Very interesting restart. A move by Charles Leclerc who takes P3. That's going to be really good for Ferrari. And Piastri, I believe, gets fastest lap here. So that's going to be very interesting for the race. Piastri in first, Norris second. The gap is 0.8 between those two. We'll see if Norris will go for a move on Oscar Piastri. I believe not. But Charles Leclerc rounds the final turn on the restart. And Max Verstappen. Huge snap of oversteer on the curb on the exit of turn 14, which is the final turn. Almost sideways. Has to countersteer that. Oh my god, how does he save that? And then Leclerc just gets that better run, obviously, because Verstappen has that snap and Leclerc can make the move into turn 1. Oh, that snap is crazy.
Someone saying that we're inaccurate. Oh,
Oh,
yeah, that was definitely some contact. And someone saying inaccurate that Max is third and there's still a safety car. So safety car's over, and Verstappen got overtaken by
oh.
Leclerc on the restart, and it looks like he also had collision with Russell as well. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so
I think Verstappen
multiple
might be screwed
contact.
here.
So Verstappen has the outside in turn one with Russell, and oh, Russell gets the tap on Verstappen as well. So on the straight, Leclerc hits Verstappen's right side pod, and on the turn in turn one, Russell also hits the right side of Verstappen's car. So contact from two different drivers, and we'll see what that'll do as we have four proper racing laps left to go.
It's only, yeah, 3 or 4 racing laps left to go. When Leclerc is up 4 positions, wow, and Hulkenberg up 8 positions. So they're gonna be pretty happy with their results today if they can keep their positions through till the end. And it
So
might be a McLaren 1-2 here. There's Fernando Alonso battling with the kick saber of Bortoleto. And it looks like he almost gets past. And yeah, that's a cool battle because if you didn't know, Fernando Alonso is Bortoleto's manager, so it's gonna be a pretty interesting battle.
And yeah, so Verstappen just got screwed over by his team, um, and by the other drivers on the track. And Verstappen now radioing saying he needs to give the position back. So Verstappen is doing anything in his power now to get P3 again, but
Yeah.
that's not going to be great for the drivers' championship against Norris with Verstappen. So Verstappen will be in P3 as of right now in the drivers' championship, and he'll be quite a whiles back with the points. No, and now Verstappen being told to let Russell through as well. So Verstappen's going to drop down to 5th position. Oh, and they hit each other. And Verstappen goes into the side of Russell. So now Max Verstappen is absolutely fuming. Christian Horner getting mad at Verstappen on the radio too, saying that it's the rules. Everything at Red Bull is falling apart right now. Verstappen just completely goes into Russell. He just didn't really turn for that corner. Russell on the radio. And Russell's saying, what the F? He's crashed into me. And now Russell gets let through. So Verstappen P5. Will Verstappen get a penalty for that? That is not sportsmanlike indeed. What is happening in the final stages of the Spanish Grand Prix? 2 laps left. Holy, what is going on? And now a move
Very interesting.
by the kick saber of Nico Hulkenberg on Lewis Hamilton. Nico Hulkenberg takes 6th place away from Hamilton. Great position for the kick saber of Hulkenberg. He's carrying his team.
At this point, Ferrari should, like, at the same time, Ferrari should be embarrassed, but also not, because Leclerc is on the podium, but Hamilton getting overtaken by a kick salver.
And let's see this
Yeah,
replay of George Russell. Oh my god, and Max Verstappen just didn't turn and just went, almost looked like on purpose into the side of George Russell. And can we talk about Fernando Alonso, who's in P10 to get his first points in the season?
Yeah, it's noted for causing a collision by the race directors.
Yeah, that's got to be a black flag there, and there he lets him through.
Fastest lap held by Piastri.
So super interesting end to the race here. And Russell saying he's got damage. So I think Verstappen might have tried to get damage on Russell's car on purpose, because now Verstappen can go for the move on Russell. But this is interesting stuff, as now we're on the final lap of the race. Will Verstappen get through with the DRS in the first turn here? And he won't be able to do that. But we have another DRS straight after turn 9, going into turn 10, which is another overtaking opportunity. So we'll see if Verstappen will pass Russell. 2 McLarens look very calm out in front. It looks like it's going to be a 1-2 for those two. Leclerc sitting in a very nice P3 for the team. Russell's a second behind him. So a little bit of a battle here for third. Maybe.
And the collision between Verstappen and Russell in turn 5 is now under investigation by the stewards.
So lots of stuff going on as Piastri now rounding turn 10. What will happen here as Verstappen will get the DRS on George Russell? Will Russell have DRS? No, he won't. Will Verstappen be able to make the move here into turn 10? No, he will not. And it looks like the top 5 will stay the same as Piastri now rounds the final turn. And in 2025, he is going to be the winner of the Spanish Grand Prix. Piastri crosses the line in P1 with Norris in P2. It's a 1-2 for McLaren again. And Leclerc, great result for the team, crossing the line in P3. Russell will cross the line in 4th. Verstappen, not a great race for him. He's going to be in P5. Hulkenberg, great result for Kick Sauber in P6. What a race we've had today.
Very, very interesting race.
So Oscar Piastri started pole yesterday, and he's going to win today in Spain.
So the finishing order was Piastri, Norris, Leclerc, Russell, Verstappen, Hulkenberg, Hamilton.
RIP your microphone. He's cut out.
Really? Did I?
Yeah.
And interestingly, it says that on the timing sheet that Verstappen is in 10th position.
Did he get a penalty right at the end?
Not sure what happened there. Kimi did DNF indeed. And Red Bull had bad strategy, collision, lot of, Antonelli.
Ooh, and Max Verstappen, 10-second time penalty for causing a collision. So that's going to drop him down to 10th place.
Only 1 point.
So that means Fernando Alonso will get even more points.
That's unfortunate
for the team. So Fernando Alonso,
right at the end. That sucks.
And fastest lap also goes to Oscar Piastri. So is that a grand slam?
That could have been. Yo, wait. Did he actually? He did lead every lap. That might have been a grand slam. Well.
Oh, he didn't lead. No, he didn't. He didn't lead every lap. Never mind.
Okay. That was an interesting race, guys. So if you guys want to see the next race next week, you can follow and follow for next week's race. And I think that'll be the last part of the leg of the triple header for next week. And if you guys are looking for any F1 themed t-shirts, you can go to Racing TA. You can check out all the F1 themed t-shirts we have there. And make sure to follow for next week's race. And I thank you guys all for watching. And thank you. See you guys later.
Alrighty, thank you guys for watching. And make sure you guys drop a sub. Check out racingtees.ca. Check out my Twitch at RealTomTomboy. And see y'all later.